we can't use the penguin joke.
I guess it's a bit where I talk, isn't it? Good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk Trek. How are you doing? It is Wednesday night. I've got a lolly. I do. This has not been well timed on my behalf.
Don't drop it, James.
Yes, it's a special one tonight, which involves, as James would call it, midweek drinking.
School night drinking.
Everyone's favourite type of drinking. Right.
Can I just stop you there, Dan? That's not a lolly. That's a choc ice on a stick.
No, that's a
Nice lolly. That's a nice lolly.
It's an ice cream. It's not a lolly's frozen Ribena.
Probably call it a bran cake or something.
Next, you're going to be telling me that my blue Fanta is not a thing either.
If you freeze it, it'll be a lolly.
Other soft drinks are available, okay?
Dan, you do eat that seductively. Yeah.
Only for a married man.
Wow. Okay. Right, let's get into our first feature of the evening then.
It's our only feature, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's a watch-along. We only do one feature in a watch-along.
Really?
Have you got...
Well, turn your auto script off.
Yeah, let's press this button.
This week, yeah.
Even with no notice, James has one at to hand.
You're going to need a bottle of Martini Rosso and a green glove.
Oh, I know what that's called. I know what that's called. A colonoscopy.
Apparently, it's a great night out. That's what that's called?
Only if you're from Essex. Right, what are we here for tonight, anyway?
It's a watch along, but have we got anyone watching along?
We have. We've got 12 people watching us.
We have Paul. There you go. See?
What ho, Paul? Paul, I hope you're wearing nothing but your boxer shorts and you're in your cinema. Nadim, how you doing, buddy?
Good evening. Right, so it is a watch along tonight, which means we have had the let's be serious for a second. The watch along has been chosen today by our friend Alan, who is on with us tonight. Hello, Alan.
Welcome, Alan.
Yep. Welcome.
Thank you.
And he was the person who put one into the Wheel of Name generator last time. So what we're going to do is, before we start Alan's choice tonight, which is the Star Trek Original Series episode, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, I thought we would throw up the Wheel of Name generator now and see what our next watch along will be.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Clever, isn't it? Because we've got ones from last time, so...
wonderful. We've got a watcher in from Chicago again. I must pay homage to your bean.
Huzzah! Right. What? Shall I press the button?
Go on. Do it.
Hang on, who chose the episodes to go on this? I didn't have a say in it. Right. Wait. Well, I mean, that's all well and good, but I didn't see a single episode of Discovery on that wheel.
Yes, there is.
Well, that's fine.
Shore Leave. Which one's Shore Leave? That's the TNG one, isn't it?
That's the TNG one.
Yeah, the TNG one. Yeah.
Yeah. Picard gets a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the one. And gets to punch a friend. Oh, yeah, that's Captain's Holiday.
Shore Leave is TOS.
Shore Leave is a TOS. Yes, Shore Leave is a TOS one. That's the one where...
with the rabbit.
With the rabbit, yeah. And Chekhov gets high on speed and dances really fast. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Richard. The bean in paying
Thank you. I do enjoy having knowledge of the bean, even though I'm not from Chicago and I've never been. I read Harry Dresden novels, you see. If you don't read them, you must read them. They're brilliant.
Do we have to have another TOS episode? Is it not? Was that not just a practice spin?
It was a random generator. You
What's
can't
wrong
start
with
trying
the
to fix
original
it.
I'm happy to spin again because we have done 2 TOSs on the bounce. Not that I'm saying I don't want to watch it, but I vote spin.
We're not saying this feature's rigged, but you know.
He's going to spin it till he finds one he likes.
Hey! Oh, look!
Can't it be a Discovery one now?
I want it to be shore leave again. Oh, well, would you look at that?
I think that's destiny then, isn't it, boys?
Yeah, I think
I think it's got to be shore leave, sorry.
Brilliant.
Okay. Fine.
The gods have spoken.
Gods
Absolutely.
have spoken. Bah, humbug.
Well, that settles that one then.
Right, now you've finished your lolly, should we watch the programme?
It's like, oh, it's time to go live. It's like, well, this thing's going to melt. I've got to eat it now. Yes, I suppose we should probably go live.
You ate it like Chasey Lane eating a hot dog.
What do you say about Chase Masterson? What?
Hey, watch it. She's still after me.
You
It's
should be so
embarrassing,
lucky.
Richard, every time. Every time.
It's embarrassing. Every time it's embarrassing when I have to politely say to her that, sorry, can you just, bit of social distance? Not interested. Thank you. Very flattered, of course, but it's getting a bit boring now.
Right then, dear viewers, before we start tonight's episode, if you have any suggestions of what we should put on the magic spinning wheel, drop them in the comments box. We will throw them on the spinning wheel. And eventually, over the course of the next year, we'll get to watch everyone's choice. That's the sort of plan. Some of the great ones that are still in the wheel to be watched are Star Trek 6, Drumhead, Threshold, thank you, Richard, First Contact, Time's Arrow, Nepenthe, Descent, Wire, Trials and Tribulations, The Reckoning,
Who put Descent in?
and Tapestry.
That was James for a laugh.
I'd rather watch a Discovery episode than Descent again. Christ.
Not that bad.
And Code of Honor. Right, so
Yes.
There's
Code of
no
Honor.
such thing as bad Star Trek. Actually, I'll take that back thinking about it. The second it came out, I thought about it and went,
Is there a redeemable feature about Code of Honor? Is there anything redeemable about it that we can think of, apart from it demonstrates that even Star Trek wasn't quite where it needed to be yet?
yes, there is a redeemable feature. It does not involve a candle and Beverly Crusher.
As far as we know, that scene might have been cut.
As you all know, I'm very naive and innocent.
Oh, God.
What is this thing about blazing Bev and something to do with cannabis? What is this 420 thing?
I feel like this is...
420 was... Sorry.
Oh, go.
420 was the time that the group of students broke out 50 years ago this year at, was it Berkeley, California? One of the colleges over there. And at 420, they'd all get together on the lawn and split up. And consequently, that was the sort of first public declaration of weed smoking in America. Bear in mind, our American cousins are extremely prudish. Consequently, it's become sort of totemic.
It'd be interesting
And of
to
course,
see how many of
in the
those
American
people.
calendar, 420 is today.
It would be interesting to see just how many of those people do have jobs now.
It was 50 years ago. They've probably retired.
That my point's proven then. None of them. Bloody hippies. Cut your hair and get a job.
What a terrible work ethic. Can we have Neil next time?
There's something wrong with Alan, Nadine?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's a bit harsh, Nadim. Alan's hardly had to set out to say yet. What's going on with that?
I don't think that's quite how it was intended.
I'm a bit shocked by that, Nadim. I thought you were a nice guy.
Well, he's not on my Christmas list anyway.
Well,
Right, shall we make our way over to the episode? If you are,
I think that's probably best.
Yeah.
Let's move on before Alan fucks off.
right, Carl, do us a quick introduction. What episode, what series, where we can watch it?
So TOS season 3, episode 15. So partway through the final season of the original series. Yeah. Available on Netflix if you have a subscription there, or also on various other streaming platforms. We tend to use Netflix so we can sync all up correctly, and that way
Apart from
James,
James,
that way James doesn't seem to end up an hour ahead of the rest of us.
I like to play it at 1.2 speed.
Just before we get started, James, have you downloaded enough internet to play it?
Yes, I went to the shop earlier and I bought some internet.
Excellent, fantastic.
Already.
Well
I
done.
bought a whole
we like.
pint of internet.
Lovely.
Oh, should we do a countdown then, gents?
It's Alan's choice. I think Alan should be the one to launch it, to be honest.
Oh, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, difference.
Engage.
Sorry.
God, Shatner looks so young.
Now, straight away, viewer, it's worth pointing out that this series had a lot of budget cuts. You won't see them specifically in this episode because they've remastered everything. But originally, that was the Galileo shuttle you were looking at.
Yep.
And they just reused the shots from the Galileo 7.
That's right.
Someone's
so in the
been
original
researching.
episode, in the original episode, when you see it coming into the shuttle bay, which incidentally, this is the last time the shuttle bay of the Enterprise is ever shown in TOS in this episode. If you watch the original cut, you can see that it's the Galileo, but I believe they've renamed it for the
For the
remaster.
starbase. Yeah, because the plot is it's stolen from a starbase. Yeah.
Yeah. You can also see the wires in the original.
See, we do have some interesting knowledge.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this episode is cheap, but you'll see how much effort was put into the next ship that comes at them.
Well, yes. The next ship, I'm hoping Eagle Moss will do a version of, and that will become clear shortly.
Oh, is it as good as my?
I've got one of those.
No. The clue was in Richard's phrase, the way he phrased it. I love the way they're so keen to check that the guy's okay. It's like, oh, what's going on here? Is bloke just fallen out
Has
the
he been
shuttle
to
bay,
a party?
boys? Literally just standing there looking at him. You'd think there'd be a bit more urgency about them.
Perhaps he's from one of those planets that doesn't revolve, and one side is permanently hot and one is permanently cold, and he lives on the equator.
I like the logic. I also like the way that you see it from one side, so the episode's great reveal doesn't occur until later.
I'm disappointed James isn't doing the lyrics.
La 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 la.
I'm just going to say I was disappointed it didn't go for the high note at the end.
You'll have to tune in on Sundays, dear viewer, for any musical interludes. What's that musical background I can hear?
Oh, I do apologise. That's me. I'll mute.
Do you get the impression he's going to get up in a minute and pretend to be in an invisible box?
Yeah.
But there is an example in our own world of this. It's called chimerism. So, there is no basis
Yes.
in science is not true.
Even though it's green like yours.
Apparently, both the characters were also asked to wear the gloves so that it would save on makeup costs.
What?
The most famous Instagram chimeric cat.
I think Richard's accidentally taken his microphone into the toilet.
Sorry about that. I ran out of Ribena.
Oh, brilliant.
I love that, the southernmost part of the galaxy.
Well, you see, Captain, our sunbeds only have one side.
What about the extradition rules?
Mm.
Talk to the hand.
But he knows about the planet. He knows it's in the southern part of the galaxy.
Oh, another alien ship. Excellent.
Yes. They spent a lot of money on this one.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
And I've got it. I've got it.
Sir, we've run out of budget. It's another invisible ship, sir. Still no budget, sir.
I've got the model here. Yeah.
Let me get the Eagle Moss one. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me check my box of cloaked invisible ships.
Here's
Ooh.
the Eagle Moss one. There we are. There we go. Look at that. Beauty, eh?
What I'd have really liked to have seen there, though, because they keep going on about it being a scout size, quite a small vessel and stuff. I'd loved it when they'd have zoomed in on the view screen to just see this guy sat in space, just like sat in there. That would have been hilarious, just floated across the view screen.
There was, in the DVD release, there was an added scene that they put in as a joke with a load of naked people in a swimming pool. There genuinely was, and they said it was a Romulan warbird cloaked, but they're swimming. and they snuck it in.
At the moment, Carl is currently building the Invisible Enterprise D. He keeps giving Eagle Moss money, but doesn't get any bits in return. So,
No, I've got the bits now, actually.
oh, content for Sunday.
Yeah.
And there
Still no budget. Good God.
And there's
You can't see it.
the red warning as a tribute to our next star appearing. Mr.
Yes,
Dawson.
James, I'm going to tackle you to figure this riddle out. Why have we got a very unique red alert camera shot in this episode? Why have we got that, James?
Brilliant.
Riddle me that.
Is it because we've got character actor Frank Gorshin about to join us?
Spot on, sir.
Talented character actor Frank Gorshin.
Very.
And just for me, could you please replicate his laugh in Batman?
No. I'm not unwilling, I'm just unable.
Why do you sound like a Scouser?
I'm a Liverpool supporter.
Oh, hello. Somebody really has to speak to them about their burglar alarm.
I say they're intruder
I love the
sensors,
notes
aren't
on
they?
his clothing, the decoration around the neck and the waist, the extra jewellery. I'm upper class.
I also like the way that they both wear gloves because they didn't want to do makeup on the hands.
Yeah, much cheaper. It's also why, if you look at these costumes carefully, you'll see they're actually not a polo neck, but they're zipped up the back.
I mean, there really was, by the time this episode aired, the budget cuts were so bad that a lot of the creative staff were walking out. They just had enough because they had no money to work with anymore. And yet, this episode is rated as one of the best Star Trek episodes ever. And it just goes to show that you don't need a huge budget to make a great show. I think it's a shining example. Absolutely, Stephen. Hit that nail on the head. I have to say, though, the invisible ship was shit, though. That was just, they'd run out of money. They should have just used a previous ship and turned it round and shot it from the back or something,
And of course, it's so apposite today of all days. But people complain this is such a sledgehammer attack on a modern day problem that the Americans are still suffering from. We have it to a minor extent.
Well, it's what Star Trek has always done. That's why genuinely, when I joked earlier about Code of Honor reminding us that Star Trek wasn't perfect, yeah, there's some things in history that aren't perfect. You don't dismiss them and pretend they didn't happen. You learn from them.
Absolutely.
And that's something Star Trek's always tried to teach us to do.
I mean, and always remember, this was filmed within 4 years of the federal American system getting rid of the Jim Crow laws. The states were still mucking about with it, but the federal, it was less than 5 years before this was filmed. Lynchings were still occurring.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously Gene Roddenberry, as the creative director, has been given a lot of the credit. But all of the acting staff were completely behind him as well. You know, they had to be on board with it, otherwise the stories and the things they tackled wouldn't have happened. You know, they were lucky to have a group together at that time that were willing to do it.
I just love the fact their chimerism doesn't extend all the way to their hair.
Well, they would have had,
no, I think you'll find that their eyebrows, the eyebrows are painted.
Yep.
Well, that's correct, but they didn't manage to do, mind you, some of us are missing enough not to have a problem with that.
They could be wearing toupees.
Hadn't thought of that.
Do you know,
The classic
it's a bit
freedom
early.
fighter terrorist.
Yeah, it's a bit early to be saying this, but the fact that they went for the sledgehammer approach of painting half white and half black resonates so much with me that genuine, absolute stupidity of racism when you really think about it. You know, it really is skin deep. It's just incredible how stupid it is, and I love the way that Star Trek doesn't beat around the bush. It slaps you in the face and tells you that you're stupid if you think this way. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
and yet the published sociologist.
I am a published sociologist. You can read my one published article in the American Journal of Sociology.
But also notice that Beale's right side of his face, when we look at it, is the white side, and Locke's is the black side. So even at that time, they couldn't get away with white is right and black is what's not right.
At this point, we should probably lighten the mood by wondering if their cheeks, as in their arse cheeks, are like. Do you think they would have had? Is it right down the middle? Would they have had one?
Yes.
Like white arse cheek and one black? Yeah. So
when the embryo splits and the genetics change at a very early stage. So naturally, literally every half is one colour and the other half is the other colour.
Because my right side hangs a bit lower than my left side. So would that be the one? I mean, which colour would be which? No.
Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a regimental soldier? Do your balls hang low?
Do you get a funny feeling when you hit them on the ceiling?
So, Alan, did that answer your question about whether we're a family-friendly show?
Yes, it did. Very. But I do love Frank Gorshin's acting in this. I know it's over the top. I accept it's wild, but that's part of the whole character of these characters. They are extreme in their views and behaviour.
It was the whole purpose of the episode, wasn't it? It's perfectly cast.
Yeah.
Oh, look, James, they've got your front garden on the floor.
Yes, it's true. I do have AstroTurf. Dan,
You can see him out there
that's
hoovering
not how
on
you
a
spell
Sunday.
apologise. Not in this country.
Yes, it is.
You really should have checked that
So,
before putting it on a
Dan-
screen in front of
Dan,
James.
Put an apostrophe on the end of it and really make his blood boil. Go on.
No, he was writing it for our American viewers, who, as I previously alluded, that even gets my goat going.
Go on, why don't you misuse a semicolon as well? Really get me angry. No, that's a full colon.
Let's just throw a punctuation mark in the answer. We'll give that a little hat and that a little hat, and we'll make that a squiggle.
See, the
it's
misuse
gonna
of a
use a circle
semicolon. The misuse of a semicolon is actually worse than the use of a full colon that's been misused.
His console here. It is like something out of an underground map.
It's great.
This
isn't
is
Whoa! Bit vicious with the steering there, Sulu.
But again, these are different in the original to the remastered.
Yeah, there was some in the original show. You had some quite unique shots of the Enterprise that hadn't been used before.
Yeah, some new beauty shots. I love the way they keep going back to that sort of like red light, in, out, in, out.
Yeah.
It's great.
If
We've
only it
got
went-
Frank Gershon. We've got Frank Gershon. We've got Frank Gershon.
Well, Batman was made at about the same time, wasn't it? So, he could have just stepped next door.
Yeah.
Well, he's used to a full body suit of tight clothing and funny paint on his face. Mind you, he did have a hat in Batman, but anyway. There you go. You can see, you saw the zip very clearly there.
Oh, I can't wear my hat over my headphones.
So wear your headphones over your hat.
There
you go.
Oh, you're not wearing that female body inspector hat again, are you?
Oh,
No,
James,
it's the
you look like a
FBI.
youth.
Nobody move. FBI. Oh, hang on. The youth. Right, now I'm a youth.
Now you're SWAT.
I love the fact we're taking this very serious episode very seriously.
We had some bloody serious moments, thank you very
We had
much.
some very good moments.
We've discussed some sociological, racial issues.
look
You
at
had a
the
published
trends as
sociologist
well.
on the show weighing in. It's been
Absolutely.
very serious.
And if you want to get
Yeah.
into the techie trekkie side of it, they just stated they're going past warp 10. Well, how does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, Carl.
Very
do you not-
easily.
I
Warp 10
know
is a
they
measure, not a
redefined the
limit.
scales. I know.
But also, look how Bill's standing. Compare that to how Loki stands.
Mm.
Oh, a bit of love for Leonard, by the way. I think he's lovely, as always.
Oh, someone's had their ready Brett.
Phasers and those phasers, a quick kick in the Johnson to sort them out.
Better be careful. They're going to all turn into Voyager-style salamanders.
Armus has turned up.
Armus has turned up. Hello, Armus. How are you?
Episode make Armus feel less evil.
It's nice to see you. How is it on... Oh, I can't remember your planet now.
2.
Viagra 2. Yes, how is it on Viagra 2?
Still bad aftertaste of Tasha Yar.
Actually, you never
didn't eat
consumed
Tasha Yar.
Tasha Yar. No, you consumed Ronica.
Probably explains ration mouth.
Have you still got hair? Have you still got hair between your teeth? A bit of beard?
Didn't have the
No.
beard then. It was season 1.
Not that beard, James.
Oh.
Bye.
I love computers of that period.
Bye-bye, Armus.
Oh,
I
sorry.
love the plot hole
Alan was
here.
concerned then.
What did I miss?
I love the plot hole here. I'm going to blow up the ship. So why doesn't Bill just kill him? Stop him doing it?
Because of his shields.
No. Why doesn't Bill kill Kirk? If Kirk
Because
is going
of
to kill
his-
himself, why doesn't Bill kill Kirk? Stop the fact that the ship is going to be destroyed. Then he has control and can fly to Sharon.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we see the self-destruct code used. And the
it's then
sequence, the sequence is the same,
Yeah.
although with different
In the search for Spock.
officers in the search spot, yeah.
Yeah, I love that touch. And again, close-up shots straight out of Batman. Bit of
It
major.
does
And
look
the
like
eyebrows.
that computer.
Bill could have made any of them, if he can change the direction of the starship, he could have made any of them moot at this point. He could have simply killed one. He could have transported them to another area of the ship.
Chekhov's face there is like, damn, I'm going to have to remember this ready for Star Trek 3.
He's thinking the Alexa voice recognition might not understand me. He's sweating there.
He's already thinking about the pink suit that he wears in Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's a
And
good job this
searching for
isn't.
nuclear vessels.
It's a good job this isn't today because Chekhov would do it and be like 20 gallons of whipped cream added to your shopping list. Yeah.
Zero.
Destruct.
Zero.
Sadly,
I
you
love
can't
the
have that
computer.
as your pin because you can't have destruct as part of a pin.
Really? I didn't know that.
James Doohan invited the... I've not heard that one before, but I'm going to say yes. But
Let's try and
apparently...
find out.
No, James Doohan did invent the Klingon language because when he was in a production meeting, he spoke in his Scottish accent and they couldn't understand him. They decided that was Klingon because it sounded aggressive. And thus the Klingon language was born.
Apparently, it is true. It's from 1979. The first Klingon words were made by actor James Doohan in 1979
Speaking
for the first
Scottish.
Star Trek movie.
Yeah. Speaking Gaelic,
So
if you want to be
close.
precise.
You were so close to being true.
It was a fact.
Speak a lot of facts on this show.
Is it a fact or a fact? That's the question.
Not this time. It never happened.
I'll give it one
We
and a
fooled
half
you.
facts. 1.5 facts.
Quick shot, quick shot.
They'll create a paradox pretty quickly at warp 10 going in a circle.
They'll all be turning into salamanders soon if they're not careful.
If they went backwards, time would go backwards.
I thought you only had to do 88 miles per hour to travel in time.
No. I'm thinking more like Superman.
At this point, I'd like Shatner to light a cigarette and say, I'm just happy to watch the world burn. Never play poker with James T. Kirk.
Yeah, he doesn't know the rules. Complete with noise. I love the fact that it always takes noise to change ownership.
No monkey business.
What ho, Ben?
Evening, Ben.
Stevens mentioned that the alien could override the ship's navigational systems, but not the self-destruct. They probably had Bitdefender.
Or maybe it wasn't networked like on the Galactica.
BitLocker was set to full encryption.
Cool, I haven't watched the Battlestar Galactica reboot in ages. I have to do a rewatch of that.
Spock's superior hearing. And then Loki talking to the workers.
You're going to urge them to
You're
squeeze them
quite
into
right.
production.
Sorry to get away from Star Trek, but Paul in the comments is quite right. The original Battlestar Galactica, not the reboot. Yes, that's worth a rewatch as well. Nothing like a bit of Dirk Benedict. That's,
Although be careful not to watch Galactica 1980.
Yes, that well, it had its merits.
The flying motorcycles.
And Wolfman Jack.
Yes.
Don't forget Wolfman Jack. Sorry, we're a Star Trek show.
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was amazing.
Oh, and Bluegills appears in it as well. The voice of Kit.
Mm.
Oh, Dan, don't you have some of that blue liquid that they've got on the table there?
Yes, I think Dan's got a bottle of Romulan ale right there. There we are. Mine's gone off.
Mine certainly has, Carl?
Absolutely.
And the Dickles bottle. I want the Dickers bottle. And again, whereas Lokai was talking to the workers, Beale's talking to the bosses. Another analogy. An allegory, sorry.
Absolutely.
I love that. It's just like, shut up.
And also the use of Commissioner Beale. He has rank. Lokai is just Lokai.
Oh, Spock's just like dropped the mic there. It's just awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Does the black and white go all the way down?
We've had that discussion.
just like the Trill.
Yes, so they're chimeric.
It's moments like this that make me damn proud to be a Star Trek fan. It really does.
Preach it, brother.
Oh.
I love the way anytime Sulu's asked to do something, he basically looks like he's letting the handbrake off on the starship.
Lots of pretty coloured buttons.
I think that's a mail ship.
How can you tell? Didn't you see the little balls?
You see his little thing hanging down?
That shot was definitely one of the improvements they did with the new graphics. Beautiful.
Apart from a riddle.
Also, Alpha Club?
What, no one noticed you doing it like that?
Go on, give him a swift kick in the Johnsons. That'll sort the bugger out.
Exterminate.
That will invalidate the warranty. Sabotage?
What's sabotage?
It's American for sabotage.
Ah.
Of course, Lieutenant Valaris tells us all about the word sabotage in Star Trek VI, doesn't she?
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Isn't that a game with small men? You kick balls around a table.
What did you say, Alan? I didn't get that.
It's Association Football, Sabutio.
Association 4. Is that still going on, that thing with some teams wanting to play with each other in a different game?
Yes, there's been a lot of news about it this week. It's been fascinating.
Is it all over now?
Yeah, I think it's dead in the water. There's only 2 who are still interested, and they've said they'll stop.
Well, that's wasn't it 2 teams?
It's a bit difficult to do a league.
Well, you only have to play one game.
Do you know, if there's one criticism I have of this episode, it's probably the lack of involvement that Nichelle Nichols' character Uhura had in it, because it was probably the most poignant for her. I would have liked to have seen her had some more lines or have something more. Perhaps the mess hall talk should have involved her with one of them.
Yeah.
Or the one around the table with Spock and Kirk. Uhura should have been there saying, what are you on about? You're half white, half black, you idiot. Again, you don't ban it because she wasn't more involved. You learn from it. But it would have been nice to see her more involved.
Yeah, agreed.
They're dead, Dave.
What? Even Peterson?
Yes, Dave. Everyone is dead, Dave. Dave, everyone is dead.
And Kachansky? Kachansky's can't be dead, can she?
Cool, blimey. Look, everyone is dead, Dave.
What? Even Testmarker? Testmarker can't be dead.
I wish I'd left him in stasis.
A Canadian preaching at the Americans.
I love that meme of Justin Trudeau looking down, going, "You guys all right down there?" And there's a picture of Donald Trump or someone underneath. Or often Han Solo going, "Yeah, everything's fine, nothing to see here."
Oh, we're about to go into blooper territory, one of the few. Yep, when they're running along, watch for the rope in his hand to keep him in
So
shot.
this was the cut-in footage here was actual footage shot in World War II, which again is very poignant.
And the other shots are from the Watts riots,
Yeah.
which of course were just a few years before Andigan race riots. So it was a mixture of the Blitz and the Watts riots.
Who runs like this?
But he does, clearly.
Somebody holding onto a rope to keep themselves in shot. Again, the crewman's lounge reference to previous discussions.
Apparently, this whole scene was only created in the first place because the episode running time, they were a bit short on what they needed.
Oh, really?
It works, though, doesn't it?
Works very much so. Because again, remember when this aired, the shots of the Watts riots would have been in people's memory. I mean, I'm probably the only one here old enough to remember it.
And we're grateful for that, Alan.
Well, I've just heard the news headlines. They're doing a federal investigation into American police.
Ooh. Can we send them Adrian Dunbar to assist with that?
Oh, so well said, Spock. So well said. I mean, you can understand why, when it aired, it wasn't the most popular episode. You can. There wasn't a lot there for somebody who wants an adrenaline fix to get their hit from. But looking back at it now, and if you were a black person watching that episode, if you're an activist in the 60s watching that episode, you must have thought all your Christmas had come at once.
Yeah.
Wow, there's some primetime television actually tackling this. You know, we don't have to go out and riot to get heard. Someone's actually tackling this on TV. And, you know, that's nearly half a century ago now. That's quite frankly how embarrassing it is, that we still have these problems. You know, it's astonishing. And it, again, just makes me very proud to be a Star Trek fan.
Mm. It's certainly one of the few things that we've watched that's left us all sort of like sat here thinking as opposed to saying stuff.
Yeah, I'm still thinking were the butt cheeks half. What colour would the penises be? Would they be split down the middle? Would one ball be black, one ball be white? You don't know, do you? That's what I've been thinking about.
You do actually, because it's chimeric. You've got to understand where chimerism comes from in the development of an embryo. And once you understand that, you answer the questions.
Well, my Johnson hangs a bit to the left. So if the left side of me was black, would that mean my Johnson would be black?
But when in development, it would have been down the middle.
Right.
Just because it's inappropriately been used since then doesn't underwrite.
What do you say? I've never used mine inappropriately.
I thought I got that one through.
I've always used
I can't believe the turn this
exactly
conversation has taken.
precisely as it's intended for. Is what I've always used mine for.
I'm actually looking for a photo. Oh, if I can find it.
Oh my God!
Alan, don't Google that, Alan. Jeez, no.
And that's all we've got time for on this evening's Let's Talk.
Is Neil back next week? And here's Armus. No, we don't want to see yours, Armus. We know.
Cue up Wish.
What?
Oh dear.
There we go. I found it. I've cosplayed Loki, which is why one of the reasons I chose this on this episode. I've just found a photo from a DSTE, and it's called Face Painters United, and there's myself and an Orion slave girl, and we're both covered.
Just before you share the photo, is
I'm
it
not going to.
a full photo?
She is, yes.
Please share it.
No, I'll keep that for later. You can find it on my Facebook page.
I'm sure we can. Excellent. So this week in fake news, James has decided that he's going to do a weekly segment championing Discovery. He thinks it's about time that Star Trek got more in touch with its emotions and that junior officers were promoted on a tier-to-tier basis. James, what's coming up in the shows to come?
Well, as you know, my profession requires me to argue unwinnable cases, so I'm going to take this one on. And persuade you of my love of Discovery.
I'm looking forward to hearing James's now weekly segment on Discovery, and he's only allowed to say positive things. I'm looking forward to this new segment, and I'm going to make a poster for it tomorrow.
In fact,
It should
as
be
my
quick.
father, a noted advocate, often says, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
But we're doing a show, so you have to.
James, I would like the answer to something for Sunday, please. I'd like to know
Yeah.
how many tears does Michael Burnham shed in 3 seasons of Discovery?
Oh, gallons.
To the nearest 1,000.
To the nearest milliliter.
I mean, I don't know because I've just not paid attention to it.
Do you think? I mean, obviously, you all must have seen Friends. So with Jennifer Aniston and
Pivot.
so Matt LeBlanc plays a character in it called Joey, who's an actor. And he reveals an acting secret as to how he makes himself cry. And what he does is he cuts a hole in his pocket, and he gets a pair of tweezers, and he grabs a hold of a bit of his Johnson's Forest, and he gives it a bit of a twang, and then he can just a pluck, gives it a pluck, and then cries on demand. I wonder how women would do it, because they kind of wax and tidy up around there a lot more than men anyway. They're probably used to the pain, so I wonder how they make themselves cry on demand.
Can I
They also don't have pockets.
But so I think the next time that we're at a convention and we have the opportunity to ask Sonic Martin Green how she makes herself cry, we should possibly reference Joey Tribbiani from Friends and ask her, does she indeed
similar technique?
Similar technique, and if not, what technique she prefers.
We'll let you tackle that particular issue, Richard. I think.
Gladly, I'll happily tackle that issue with her. The last time
I'm
I asked
opening
her a
the book on
question,
how long he lasts.
well, the last time I asked her a question, it was actually answered by Jason Isaacs. she just, I don't know, she had jet lag, but she wasn't all there. She just looked a bit confused and burst out into tears. And then Jason Isaacs answered the question for me. So we'll see how we get on with that one.
Oh, dear.
That is a true story, not a fact.
Yeah.
It's a true story. I was there. I remember it.
You were there.
Yeah.
And I was drunk, but I do remember it.
Anyway, it's come to the part of the show where we get to spin our wheel and hopefully choose something to watch next week.
We have done.
No one was watching
You
before.
cannot anger the gods.
You'll notice that the Three Amigos has made an appearance in the wheel.
You're going to be incurring
Come
some serious wrath from somewhere, Dan, I tell you.
Is Shore Leave still on it? Has it been removed?
No, he's taking it off.
I haven't.
Somebody
It's funny if
I
it
want
comes back.
Shore Leave
won't
to
it?
come
I was going to
again.
say
That
I'd
was
laugh so
very
much if
good.
it just reappeared.
Ooh, the drumhead.
Ooh, another very good episode.
Emotional episode. Okay. So who are we going to get as a guest star to talk about next week?
But perhaps somebody plays the drum.
Sorry, James, your internet didn't download enough. What was that?
Someone who
Used it
plays
all
the
up on
drums.
viewing.
I know
Surely
someone
the
who plays
person
the
who
drums.
suggested it. Because I'd like to take this opportunity, gentlemen, to thank you for inviting me here to watch one of my favourite episodes with you all. Though the conversations went a bit interesting at times, it was great to see fellow geeks geeking out. Thank you.
You're more than welcome,
You're
Alan.
very welcome,
I
Alan.
speak for everyone when I say it's been an honour and a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to be our guest watcher to watch the Drumhead, please send us a message and we will see if we like you and then we'll have you on.
I think
Is
we're
Alan
going
in
to do this on the
Muppet
first.
Theatre? If those curtains part, is Kermit behind them?
I think we're going to have to do the next week's watch along drumhead expert is going to be first come, first serve. I think that's the fairest way to do it. So ping a DM to the page. Whoever's first in, please, would love to have you on the show. If not, we'll get a friend of the show in to do the watch along instead. If
And
no
don't
one
forget
wants
to join us on Sunday evening for all our usual features, including Blankety Blank.
Oh,
and
yeah.
James's advocation of Discovery. I'm really looking forward to that.
How
It's
long do you
going to
want
be
to
a very
speak?
short episode.
Half an
I mean,
hour? 45 minutes?
Alan, I'm not saying, like.
Well, I'm not going to
And
say
for
I'll concentrate the one on the
150,
right, but
for 150 blanks, James, what are their names?
Stadler and Waldorf.
Get in there.
He was doing okay till he fell off the stage. He was doing okay till he came on the stage.
which one's which?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think Stadler might be
Santa's on
the
the
taller
left.
one.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and Deck.
This has been another award. This has been another award-winning production tonight.
Absolutely.
Tell you what,
we can
when
have
we
an
get the likes of
award.
a primetime Trek, Emmy.
This should be an annual thing. We should do our own award show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like
That'd
Tom
be
did
Good
usually.
idea.
Yeah, we could do our own award show. That'd be a really good idea.
Love
a
the
really
idea
good
of
idea. I can't see that being a bad idea at all.
No.
Oh, we get lots of guest people to come on and hand out the
Yeah.
awards to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think an award show is a really good idea, Dan, and I think you should investigate it.
Absolutely. We're going to have to
You
look
remember how
into that.
Top Gear used to do awards once a year, and it was always
For
best small car,
best car, yeah.
the McLaren P1, best car on a budget, the
We
Bugatti
can
Veyron.
have best Burnham crying scene, at least
So
watchable
many
episode of Lower Decks.
I like Lower Decks.
I'm glad a lot of people do.
I
Do you know
think
what?
that's
I mean,
Like I
that's
said, even the worst Star Trek is still worth watching.
I haven't actually finished watching Lower Decks because I couldn't stand another episode. So,
It's hard
on that
work.
basis, I'm going to have to disagree with you, but I'm still glad it's out there and people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, brother.
right. I will concoct some sort of award ceremony.
That's such a good idea, Dan. I think that's brilliant.
Are we talking?
Dan,
out.
where's Star Trek?
Get out.
Star Trek 5.
Star Trek 5 is not the worst Star Trek. That's a lie.
Cybok disagrees.
He can
'Cause he
feel
doesn't
your
know-
pain.
That's because he doesn't know what God needs with a starship.
I
The
want
worst-
talking about the level of omnipotence, are we now?
Let's have a look. The worst
There's no
Star
such
Trek.
thing as a level
would
of
be-
omnipotence.
No,
You're
you
either
can't have a level of
omnipotent or you're not.
omnipotence.
That's the
Well,
very
thank you.
definition of omnipotence.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I suppose it depends what you believe. If you believe you're omnipotent, it doesn't matter, does it?
Let's be
It also
honest.
stands
Worst
for proof of
Star
the
Trek.
existence of God.
Well,
That's
if
true.
you don't believe in
The
a God and you
ontological
believe in
argument.
if you don't believe in a God and you believe in yourself, then it's very clear that you are
Who
God.
wrote that?
You did, James.
Like you
I-
need to ask.
It's not right.
James, why do you like Inner Light so much?
Because it's brilliant and it has Picard's flute and it has a nice soundtrack.
Right. Let's get it out. Oh, In a Light, Picard learns to play the recorder. It's not a special skill. A 7-year-old can do it. It's not a special tool. A 7-year-old gets one for free at school. Picard playing the recorder for an hour is not a special episode.
Okay, Dan. Well, it's Wednesday. You've got till Sunday to learn to play the recorder and impress us with your skills.
Fair play.
fine.
I think that's a
That's a good
fantastic
argument.
challenge.
That
That's
could,
a
and
really
I
good
want,
Dan plays the recorder.
Dan, I want you to
Picard
rock
flute
off.
solo.
I want him to rock off London's Burning.
Yep.
Right? London's.
I want the
gonna say
Resican
Colonel
flute
Sharker,
solo
we'll go
off
with
him if
London.
it's that easy.
I want London's Burning. That's what I want.
I'll do Free Blind Mice because that's easy.
Fetch the engines, fetch the engines. Go on.
Free Blind Mice. That's not hard.
I want the whole Resican flute solo off you.
Oh god, here we go. It's turned into music. Look at the amount of viewers we've lost since Richard started talking about music.
Oh dear.
Right.
What has tonight turned into?
Well, you're in charge.
Well, we watched a very serious episode, and I think we all made some good points about it. But as you have to remember, as serious as the episode was, Star Trek was made primarily, and always will be made primarily for entertainment. So it has to be entertaining.
And so, is that like this one?
Good evening.
And as
welcome
much-
to Blankety Blank.
As much as we've covered many serious topics about the episode, which I think we're obliged to, we've also had to see the light side of it and appreciate it for what it's meant to be primarily, and that's entertainment. And we've all been entertained by it, and we've enjoyed it.
Let's do a special blankety blank with Alan as our guest while he's here.
Oh,
Okay. I'll share my picture of me and the Orion slave girl. See if I can pull this up.
I want to see this picture of her and you.
nicely recovered, Richard.
so dear viewer, Alan was embarrassed when he went cosplaying with the Orion slave girl because he forgot to bring his blank. Oh yes, I remember that lovely young lady.
Okay. Has it?
Right.
There we
Alan
go.
forgot to
What
bring
did I
his
forget
what?
to bring? I know what I forgot to bring. I've forgotten how it works.
Let's go to our panel. Dan in the north there. Poor Alan was embarrassed. He'd forgotten to bring his. Have you written it? Yes, there we go.
Makeup remover.
Makeup remover. So Richard, let's have a look at what you've got.
I haven't written it down,
Well, just tell us then.
but I think Alan was embarrassed because he forgot to bring his batleth.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Okay, Carl, what do you have for the blank?
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes. Alan, can you tell us? Why were
A
you
large
embarrassed?
coat,
What did you get
a
to bring?
large coat to cover my front.
I can't hear him over the blankety blank background music.
Oh, sorry. Hang on, let me stop that. Okay, go for it.
A large coat to cover my front.
Had to be a large one, did it?
Oh yeah,
Well,
Like a puffer jacket.
yeah.
no matches.
Forgot his puffer jacket. His belt. His cup. And that's what
Thank you, Val.
Americans.
That's the word I was looking for,
Yeah.
but I couldn't think what it was called.
The Inlight was Patrick Stewart's favourite episode because it also had his real life son play his son in the episode. Oh, that's very sweet.
Stephen McCarthy, Patrick Stewart is wrong. Moving on. Dear Sir Patrick, you're wrong. It's not your favourite episode. Moving on.
It's his favourite code of honour.
Has there been any new news about Michael Dawn returning? Have we had
There will be on Sunday.
other than his
right,
tweet?
okay.
Has anyone heard anything?
Yes. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah, that's called a shutout bid in bridge.
Because I'm really hoping he's going to be on Picard, so Picard can just keep denying
It is
him.
not Picard, unfortunately.
Well, let's
Oh,
discuss
if it's
it on
lower
Sunday,
decks,
eh?
that's just lame.
Yeah, let's just do it on Sunday, like when we have our real show.
Yeah, 7 no
What's wrong with
Trump.
this show? I'm not going to insult tonight's viewers because they're not watching on Sunday.
Fair point. Good argument. Well made.
I think we've done nearly all of our normal weekly features in the middle of this thing. I mean, the only one left to do, really, is this one.
So this week, Carl,
this week,
I've
viewer.
got Lokai's ship from the
Beale.
episode.
Beale,
Beale's
yep.
ship
Now, what
to- for you-
you'll need, dear viewer, to be able to put this particular model that Richard has together properly, and you can get them off most sort of like online shopping stores or even your local hobby shop, is a decent set of sprue cutters. And you got to make sure they're nice and sharp, because on a model like that, you don't want any rough edges. It's all about precision to make sure that you keep the cloak, make sure you keep the invisible ship effect. Any rough edges, and you'll be able to see them instantly.
How much would you value this invisible ship for, Carl?
It's really hard to say. Really hard to say. I mean, I'd need to see it in more detail, but if it's accurate to the studio model,
see it in more detail, Carl. It's invisible.
You can feel it.
You have to appreciate the aesthetics of it, James. You can't just make a general assumption.
That's the point.
Why are you so negative about this?
Can I at this point just say that this joke that we have, James and I at the last DSTB, we're fans of Eagle Moss and the stuff they produce. Don't get me wrong. I've spent a lot of money with them and like their stuff.
Yes, look.
We're at the Eagle Moss stand, and there was a guy there genuinely proud of and showing off their Cloaked Defiant model, which I just can't even put into words. James looked at me and I looked at James, and then James looked back at me and I looked at James, and James did this, and I did this, and then we both turned around to the salesman and did this, and he was holding this Cloak Defiant, which was like 30 quid or something. And I genuinely can't remember if it was me or James that said, "You're paying money for this, are you?" This isn't a joke. This is actually a thing you're selling. I think, was it me or you that actually asked him directly, like, you're actually selling this plastic clear model as a cloaked ship? And
I don't think I would have been so harsh.
It was me then, to be fair. I think it probably was.
Had you been day drinking by any chance?
Absolutely, I was at a convention. That's why I'm always in bed by 9 o'clock. Yeah.
We're normally drunk from the night before. It's
yeah, but yeah, I just couldn't believe that. I mean, it was a lovely model, but mine's better.
Right. Well, after tonight's amazing show, which was meant to be an hour, and it's now an hour and 25 minutes, because let us never be said that we go over time.
So this will be in the awards ceremony as longest show.
No, it's not longest show. Our longest one is the 2-hour special that was meant to be 40 minutes, and James wouldn't shut up.
Well, you could have just ended the broadcast.
That would have been.
I don't remember what. I think it was the week you first made Romulan Ice.
Well, that's only in the last month.
And surely the watch along of films is longer as well.
You'd think. James watches them at 1.6 speed, so they're generally about the same length. The amount of times James stops us and goes, "I'm at this bit." It's like, mate, that's in about 20 minutes. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Right.
Looking at the same speed.
Can you believe people are still watching us? How crazy insane.
Well, I mean, all joking aside, there have been some serious discussions about the sociological impact of Let This Be Your Last Battlefield. I mean, I cannot overemphasize for me just how significant it was for its time. And the criticism of it is completely unfounded when it is taken within the context of the period when it was made. All art should be viewed upon the time it was made in. And as has previously been alluded to, Star Trek is just art. It's entertainment. A bit of fluff, if you will.
Absolutely.
Bloody good fluff, though.
It's strange, isn't it, how... I think we've alluded to it earlier on. You did, if we're going back to being serious, how these things come back round again as well.
Yes. Yeah.
How
the news tonight, 10 o'clock news, there's now a federal investigation into police racism. And you just think,
Hang on.
Yeah.
FBI.
Is that federal black investigation, James?
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Investigation.
You don't get away that easily, Mason. You've got to remember, I'm an admin on this as well.
Yes.
So you think it's funny? You try airing me, I'll kick you out.
Children.
And that's just us.
Hang on.
Finally,
Does that mean we
right.
don't have an admin? Oh, we do.
Sorry, we seem to be having some sort of epic galactic battle.
If we can kick both of them out, and then we can.
Do not adjust your sets.
Yes, I'm trying to work out what's going on, actually. Is this another battlefield? What a wonderful metaphor for the show we've just seen. Two people of ultimate power, equal power, fighting for control, neither winning.
Absolutely.
And both as bad as each other.
Oh, children.
The trick
So you sort
is,
of look at
as
them
what
and go,
the trick is, as was mentioned by Kirk, that don't let these things consume you.
Oh yeah, spot on. You're spot on there, Carl. That's just it. You know, if a part of your heart feels that passionately about things such as racism, then there's something really important actually missing from your life, which is what's making you go down that road, and that's what you need to address.
Right, so I'm going to go back now and we're going to go into our group conversation and have a chat about our awards ceremony. When we're going to do it. When's our anniversary episode? That's soon.
I think our anniversary episode would be a good one to do for our awards show.
Next month, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. I
Wow,
can't see anything going wrong with that at all.
Make a montage of our
Is
greatest.
that like sabotage?
Can we get a montage for every time James makes a cocktail he doesn't like?
And then cries.
Can we have a screenshot of every time our group conversation on a Monday is, oh God, my head?
Yeah.
Guys, my head. Guys, my head again. Oh, guys, I've had too much head.
Steady.
C'est impossible, monsieur. C'est impossible.
Right, we're going now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night,
Right.
folks. Take care.
Everyone who
Thanks a lot.
has watched, thank you for watching. Genuine pleasure as always,
Absolutely.
and thank you.
You can't be good. Be careful.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
Bye-bye.
Keep them peeled.